Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and I'm doing the star sign for the sun, moon, and rising in the star sign of Virgo today. Now, we're in the first day of spring, it's September. The flowers are blooming. It took me 6 attempts to get this angle correct because, being a Virgo moon, I'm a perfectionist, which causes a lot of harassment for when I'm doing a makeover, I'm doing a facial. I'm a beauty therapist by trade. And so I'm very fussy, and I've done makeup for many years. I'm harder on myself than anyone else I know. Now, being said, I'm in a very creative frame of mind at the moment. And because of that, I've been doing lots of paintings. I've recently finished one for my grandfather who's in a nursing home, and I'm starting on my second one for my mum. It's a blank canvas still. I didn't know what I wanted to do as a subject on the background. Got the background correct. Now I've got to find a subject. My go-to is, at the moment, Magnolias, as in the movie Steel Magnolias. It's one of my favourite movies with Julia Roberts, Dolly Parton, and Sally Field. And she's brilliant in the movie. And she has to be strong. She's got a health condition and has a baby against the doctor's wishes. But a long story, she survives. It's a good story. So you Virgos out there with fussy creatures, now you may be looking at getting your diet correct at the moment, or you're looking at an exercise program or a way of living that is changing because you want to be fitter and healthier and detox. I've recently been on one through the dry July. So it's a 4 days off, 3 days on routine, and it really upsets the sleep pattern and the emotional health and everything. But it's worthwhile. Now, the cards I'm doing today is the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. As you can tell, it's very well loved. It's old. I've had it since 2015. The second deck I'll be using today is a fairly new one by Rebecca Campbell called Work Your Light Oracle Cards. The third deck I'm using, which is one of my favourites, is the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, artwork by Selena Fennick. It's a beautiful deck. I got it given to me by a friend who used to own a crystal shop many years ago. Now, the first card I pulled is the Prince of Summer, which you may be feeling at the moment very emotional. I have 4 placements in water, one of being Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I think it's 3 placements, yeah. And so there's a lot of that. We're very emotional creatures. At the moment, you may be acting more like a water sign rather than a earth sign. Now, Prince of Summer is romantic, captivating, flirtatious. You may fall in love suddenly, being swept up off your feet, the need to stay grounded. And it might be with a Scorpion because we've got crowning you. The Scorpion, transformation, death card, release. And so that could be coming for you. Now, what's crossing you, and you being the Prince of Summer, very romantic and dreamy and love romance novels, you can make people's heart flutter in seconds until you don't, until something else captures your attention. With the water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Cancerians tend to be flirtatious at the best. They don't mean to, it's just who they are. They may have a wandering eye. If you're married, this might not apply to you, so just whatever resonates. The Two of Cups is talking about falling in love. A serious commitment to someone, forgiveness, and a resolution of a problem. Don't give up, your relationship can be healed. You may have had a falling out with a water sign or a Scorpion specifically. The stone I choose to use is from Rainbow Runner, and the guy that I'm friends with who runs the store, I get all my crystals from him. That's Adrian from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton. So yeah, there's a new romance coming for you. In the past, you may have had to go through some legal hiccups with the Justice card, or you may have had to sign a lease on a place that you lived at. You'll win in the end. There's a fair and objective decision. You maybe have gone through some mediation, or you may have had to go through a court case with a family member. Now, in the past, the recent past, you've got the Dreamer card, the Fool card, and I talk about the Fool as starting something brand new or being childlike and have a childlike innocence. You may have taken a long time to grow up. You may have been a person that is a big kid at heart and still goes back to that. Whatever makes you happy, whether it's art, music, drawing, anything where you're knitting or sewing. Some of you may crochet or some of you may knit. Those things really help with your mood, with your blood pressure. I have found since I've started back into the things I love to do, which is art, drawing, creativity, it helps my brain settle down, and reading is a really big thing. A lot of Virgos are little closet geniuses. A lot of them tend to be fussy with their diet because they're easily upset. Virgos get upset. If their gut's upset, it means they're upset. So the healthy gut, the brain, the second brain is in their gut. They overthink things. That's a Virgo. They're meticulous to detail. That's my auntie. My auntie's like that. And they're very good at what they do. So it's saying here, you need to find a way to chill yourself out. And I find my blood pressure's gone down exponentially without medication, just by lifestyle changes. So it's encouraging you to look at your diet. And we've got black obsidian, which is representative of the scorpionic energy. Black obsidian needs to be hidden from view. I put it in a case. Otherwise, it can be just too much. Any scorpion that I've ever known, I've got scorpion in my chart, has to hide away for a while. They will hide away and regain energy and then pop back out renewed. They have to take time away to come back stronger and brighter than they were before. They have to recharge because they have to power down because they're so mistrustful of the energies in the universe. It's very important for them to get lots of rest and sleep. If they don't, if they're robbed of hours of daylight or hours, of night, they will be very cranky. They won't function very well. Their intuition will be off, and you may be experiencing some really vivid dreams right now. We've just come into the Pisces moon. The Pisces moon has just come about, and we're in a blue moon, which is like once in a blue moon, they say. It's a hat trick. Something amazing is going to happen. Some of you should take a lotto ticket because there's a big 20 million draw this Saturday. I'm getting one for my grandfather for Father's Day, and if we be just once in a blue moon, something extraordinary will happen to some of the Virgos I'm talking to at the moment. I've just had a hat trick. I've had 3 job offers. I haven't said yes to all of them. I've just gone through the process. Pretty much I'm assured of 2 and a third possibly. I'm going to be so busy, but that's how I like to be. I'm an Aries ascendant. We love to just be on the go. The crowning, or the card coming for you, is the Magician. Now, the Magician talks about manifesting. See how he's at the bottom of the hill and he has to climb all the way up to the Glastonbury Castle, which is actually a real castle in England. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be as a success. The roses are his passion, and his purity is his white flowers. His wand, he made this guy, this female or male, may have a lot of sexual energy and may have thoughts about you. You may have met him online or her online. They may be in the same industry as you. You may have come across each other doing YouTube videos, and you may be a fellow YouTuber. But it's saying that you're very good at what you do, and a lot of people can't understand how gifted you are with this. And this person picks up on your energy, and you pick up theirs. If you were a gifted psychic medium, some people call that Wicca, which he would be she would be your counterpart, a warlock. Ability to be at 3 places at once, because when they're astral traveling, they can travel for miles and keep an eye on you when they're asleep, because they're astral traveling while they're sleeping, and then you may see them in the daylight because you're so sensitive to their energy. You can see what they're doing in their other side of their world, which could be 20 hours away from you. Very, very gifted. The Emperor card. This talks about you being a gifted leader in your field of your expertise. You may have several jobs, but the one you're really good at and you've been doing for a while, you're gifted and sought after because you have a knowledge of world events. You could be on the World Wide Web, like I talked about, displaying what you do as far as tarot card readings, or you could be gifted doing facials or beauty therapy treatments because you've been around the block, and maybe you've been and worked for worldwide companies like Clarins or Shiseido or Revlon, and experienced and had to play with Gelique and have different techniques down to an art form. I used to combine all three. You're not supposed to, but I got people coming back because they really liked what I did. You may be concerned about world events. You may look to see what's happening. I know my gift is waking up at 2 a.m. because I've felt something not right with the world. I've gone on the YouTube, I've gone online to research earthquakes. I've been told I'm good at picking up earthquakes or natural disasters. And recently there was a tsunami or a hurricane, and I woke up at the exact time when it came on my Facebook account about the news of weather forecasts that I've attached to meteorology, the bomb report. The Three of Pentacles is your next card. This is to do with following your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do. Be compensated for your creative talents. You may have people wanting to come to you for limited edition artwork. You may have start small. You may only be doing small 6x4 inch boards, which I'm working on, and then branch out to bigger, try to make it bigger. But start small. And the same with what I'm doing. I started out doing this YouTube video with a very small, dodgy looking phone. Now I've got my son's phone, which is high quality, a lot better than what I had. I don't have a tripod. I don't have lighting effects. I don't have an editor. This all started as a blog back when we were cooped up in 2019 and I was living in an apartment looking after international students because of lockdown. And I was studying university, and I thought, let's do this and write a blog. And I put it up on Moonlight Madness, up on a Moonlight Madness channel. I haven't played with that for quite a while. I have to go revisit it. I've just been so busy. So it's taken me a while to get to this lot of readings because I've been concentrating on many, many things and juggling many things. And that's what I do. I multitask. You can suffer with burnout when you do that. So it's saying you follow your passion when it comes to it. Do these little artworks, do them as projects, and then keep going, but also don't let it consume you. Eight of Cups is to do with further study. You may be learning a new trade or learning a new technique. Like me, I've gone back and I've studied beauty therapy. It was over 10 years ago. And I have to go back and relearn all the new technology that's come out since then. And it's not just with makeup, it's with skin, it's with hair, it's with pharmacy assistant course that I did. There's so many things that have changed in the last 10 to 15 years. And I feel like I've come out of this coma and come back into a world I don't understand. It's like I've been shut away from the world, like the scorpion shuts themselves away from the world, from world events. I don't even have a television at the moment. I'm living in a studio apartment, and it was not by choice, it was just by necessity, because it's so hard to afford something when you're not working. I'm hoping that will change. I really like my little studio apartment, but I prefer to have a place with a backyard or a patio so I can have a cat or a dog. So some of you may like to crochet. This person reminds me of my grandmother. She loves to crochet and to knit. So there's forms of seminars, going back to school, apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship, and long-term projects. You may want to do some more study. The next card that's up the top of the tree, the last the outcome is to do with money, a windfall, advice or assistance from others, a very successful project, a happy change in your career. You may be going to a new arena. You may have to study so the books are open, relearn and do new techniques, or relearn or learn a new trade. The Queen's talks about your assets and how you're trying to build wealth building activities. Maybe you go to a seminar and learn how to do wealth building courses, or how to look after your finances better. A happy change in your career is what it's saying. So we've got that. Then the next card we pulled on all of these, because Citron I've got is wealth, is abundance, is the Gossamer Princess, communication and relationships. You may have found that you struggle communicating how you feel or how you need your needs met. So we've got 12. And it talks about relationships. The strands seem so delicate, the gossamer threads that hold a people together. For as a spider does each morning, all our relationships and connections need this regular tending. Hanging by a thread. This card can show up in your life when you are reaching a point in a situation or relationship where the strands need to be rewoven or changed. There may have been some breakdowns in communications, not having heard from a friend, speaking less with family members, or not paying attention to the small things that bind us together. The strand seems so delicate. The spider spins her strands can withstand wind, hail, rain, and damage from sun, wind, rain, storms, and ice and burning. And I was talking about the hurricane. All it takes is this gentle reweaving each day for relationships and connections of great strength to endure in that tending and be even better and stronger than before. It is communication between yourself and others at the heart of this card. You may be experiencing communication problems with your phone. The web may be playing up. Your email will just come out of a retrograde. Your email or other sources of technology may need some repair work. Relationships might be fraught with trivial misunderstandings leading to falling outs that are unworthy of both parties. Consider spending time with people you have not seen for some time, and know that whatever you decide is worth spending time a little to assess the relationship's meaning to you. Connect with others to feel less isolated. Share, talk through issues affecting yourself and others. Sharing your truth with respect and waiting for another to make the first move. The web of family, of life between friends and species, interrelationships. There is always the possibility to recreate this web. Young women coming into an initiation stage. Some of you may be grown-ass people, but you still behave childlike. So it's difficult to express how you feel. You may struggle with expression. The unicorn and the maiden. You may feel like this magical, mythical unicorn where you just don't fit in anywhere because you've got disabilities and then people just find you scary or spooky. It's talking about communication, purification, undercover action. Some of you may be going through a detox like I've just been going through and feeling a bit wobbly. The unicorn is a symbol of ancient magic's rising and purification of the earth and the etheric realms taking place. The maiden and the unicorn standing together indicate that you are receiving communications about clearing your environment, following your life path, getting rid of things that no longer serve you, whether it be clothing or objects of furniture that you no longer use, and gifting them away. You are a very peaceful being, very sensitive and yet so very strong. The doors between worlds for you are growing wider and wider. The veil is lifting. Please know that you have a purpose, which is in the moment now, to help this environment. Keep some of the work secret. Do not try to attract attention. The new children who are becoming adults are aided in their life purpose by the unicorn. I believe that the unicorn used to be hunted and killed for its magical properties, and the kings and queens of old used to be given their wine in a unicorn. That was what back then is the myth. The unicorn's horn to purify the water or whatever they were trying to be given, because a lot of people used to be poisoned back then. It is time to protect and help something precious and threatened to survive. Bless your food and water to ingest healing unicorn energy. Bless the water. And then we've got, with the Work Your Light, which is one of my favorites, the Sisterhood of the Rose. Beautiful card. Beauty and devotion, talking about the beauty industry. Mythic teacher. Sisterhood of the Rose there was a movement called the Rose, and it was all part of the British Empire from memory. There's one in Newcastle, there's one in Lambton I know of. It's got a very old pub. I think it's called the Northumberland in Lambton, and it has a symbol, and it states there historical evidence that there used to be the Rose, the Order of the Rose. So it's a true thing. Sisterhood. I'm just finding it, sorry. I'm not very familiar with this one. 78, I don't use it that often. I was gifted it. Surround yourself with beauty and create beauty wherever you go. The Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devoted their lives to serving humanity and heeding light consciousness all over the earth. A cross-section of ancient lineage is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty wherever you go. The rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You are being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. You are being called to spend more time in nature, as all the ancient secrets live there. Mother Earth is constantly whispering. Spend time admiring her creations, and you will be rewarded with insight and grace. You are being called to take a little more time to notice both the beauty that exists all around you and contribute to the beauty of the world in your own way too. I have a placement in Taurus, and Taurus is all about beauty. Fine clothes, luxurious soaps and bubble bath and powder, perfume, good meals, good food, Taurus. This could be through your own creations. The gift of food is something that Tauruses love. This could be your own creations, like how you dress or how to pick flowers for your home. You may want to go and learn how to dress up a mannequin. You might be going into the fashion industry. Every time you devote your time to creating beauty, you harmonise this planet a little more, and the shift in vibration can be felt. You may be a fashion designer. You may design clothes. I know for a fact that Peter Alexander is a Virgo. He's on the 6th of this month, and he started out in his mother's kitchen. And I read this blurb. There was an interview back in 1985 when he started to take off. It was just a mail order service. And Maya wouldn't take him on, and neither would David Jones. He was a little independent. He got 6,000 mail outs, and then Maya and David Jones approached him because he was so successful. People were looking for his clothing. He started like a pop-up store. I was so impressed with how quickly he made it. Something small can grow into something huge. He also has a puppy called Penny, and so he designs a lot of his clothes with the insignia of Penny on the clothing, which is the line of pajamas, which is beautiful. And they do puppy outfits, and they do fashion for women, all sizes from extra small right through to, I think, 18s. And they also do men's line. They've got one for Father's Day at the moment. I'm going to have a look over the weekend. Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. You may have been sent here to save some people from early demise. And I'm not ringing my own bell or horn here, but I was the one that saw COVID before it happened, when I had a reaction to a medication and died and came back to life. So I'm different now. And I've actually read a doctor's manual in a library stating that this is a real thing, that people that pass over come back with knowledge that they shouldn't actually have, but they do. I had foresight. I think I got a 5-year warning before it happened. Make that 6 cents. 3-year warning. So I'm about 2 or 3 years out from what I see things for people and for future global events. So we've got here the Pleiades, which reminds me of ascending souls. They say that when you're really bright, when your energy is really bright, you ascend. You're one of this most amazing lights that goes to heaven. 118. Okay, this is cool. It's saying, hold the card in your heart and say, I call upon Pleiadian consciousness of the highest realms and highest good of humanity to work through me. Let me be a channel for only the purest light of the essence of source. Let me channel in a way that also serves me. I channel, that's what I do. Double mission, I read jewelry, clothing, you name it. Channeling and uplifting humanity. The Pleiadians are a group of star beings dedicated to raising the vibration of the planet and sharing new consciousness through creations and technology. They've been incarnating on Earth since near the beginning of humanity. You are the soul who has a double mission to grow at a soul level, to raise the vibration of the planet. If you have been called to write, speak, or channel, it is your sign to keep doing it. Your work is divinely guided of all the souls. Pleiadians are the chattiest, so maybe you were already starting channeling some of this work into the third dimension. Thank you for doing your part in this great plan. Your presence and unique light is indeed needed. So I believe that we're in part of a community, a spiritual community that supports and uplifts everyone else. Now, a lot of readers I know don't advertise other readers. I'm not one of those people. I've got a recent reader that I've been following, and I think she's doing really well. It's called Reading the Room. If anyone's looking for a really good reader, she does a lot of Aquarian postings. I don't know why, but she must like that star sign. And she posts pretty regular too. So she's the new and up and coming. Swimming in the Deep, I think that's the other one. He's a recent YouTube person that's got status. Mermaid Scales, very good to go to. Suit of Cups. Who else do I follow? Butch Tarot. Yeah, and Ocean Only. I'm a very, very big fan of Ocean Only. He became popular by just doing readings for Aquarians as well. Possibly he knows an Aquarian. But recently he's been posting more for other signs. He doesn't always get around to Aries or Cancer. He just does a handful of the ones he likes to read for. I've been lucky enough to get very good reads that are so accurate. You know, and I put him on my Facebook profile and said, this person is an up and coming. Watch this space. So I believe that he's going to do great things with the planet, and he wants to network. And I think it would be good if we could all network. Mitchell Coombs, one of my favourite readers, I'll shout out for him. I went and saw him live near Civic Park. He predicted that my grandfather or father was not going to be here for much longer. That was in 2018 or 2019. And he's lasted longer than we all thought he would. He's 92. But he was warning me that he's not here for long. He also told me my grandmother, who's passed over, is fighting with my other grandmother about how to help me on the spiritual plane. When I came back, I saw Black Lives Matters. I was hiding in my room, thinking people were going to come in with baseball bats. My kids thought I was absolutely a nutter. They still do, I believe. I saw my son in a car accident recently before it happened. I warned him not to go. I was so sick. I was sick to my stomach. I was as white as a sheet. And then it happened the day I saw it, 4 hours beforehand. I had a recent channeled message coming from a ring from my grandmother who's given it to me. It's from her great-great-grandmother. And it showed me signs of my grandmother being very sick, very ill. So I don't like to wear that ring very much. I just keep it in a box and carry it with me wherever I go. It's too strong. The energy's too strong. I had a recent vision about my children's heritage, Mayan heritage, and I had a vision. I was sleeping, of course, I was asleep, and it was mother of pearl, and it was a symbol of an eagle. Now, I've researched it, and it means the eagle represents the male energy, and the mother of pearl is representative of the feminine energy, because the mother is represented by mother of pearl or pearls or water-based energies, the blending of masculine and feminine energies. You may have both masculine and feminine energies. This is the message I was channeled. You may be residing in a male body but have feminine qualities. Nothing wrong with that. I reside in a female body but have masculine tendencies. Like I've been told I've got a boy's brain, and I do. I think like a boy. I don't show emotion. I'm very guarded with people generally. I read a room before I go into it. I was really good at reading a room when I worked in makeup because I knew what cesspit I was walking into. There's a lot of competition, a lot of backstabbing in the makeup industry, and you're on trial by fire. They throw you in the deep end and you just have to survive. And I did my trial by fire in Sydney when I first started out working for Mark Edwards' agency, which I've had 20 odd years experience with him. Promotions, he's fantastic to work for. And then I went to Momentum and worked for them as a promotions person for makeup, fragrance, the like. I've been in the makeup industry for over 20 years. I hope I've got a name for myself. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but I do know I've worked with the best makeup artists and beauty therapists in the biz. Annabelle Hogue was a little 20-something-year-old doing a business degree when I started working there in Carindale Myers. And they all made fun of her and how she did makeup and how she was very fussy and redid this lady's makeup about 3 times before she got it right. That little girl is now, last time I checked, 6 years ago, the head trainer for Lancome. So you got to just wipe it off. You got to just let water roll off a duck's back, is the old saying, because you have to get a thick skin in any industry, but I find it more in the feminine industry. But now there's also people that are transgender, and then there's the gays, and then the straights, and the whatever. And so there's more competition now for the jobs that I used to go for, because these people are usually better than what I am. Some of the best makeup artists I've seen are gay, LGBTQ community. They're the best in the biz. And I look at myself going, I'm not that great, but all the experience I've had, I think I've learned a lot. I recently got a sample of foundation by Kevin Aucoin. He was the biz. Back in the 90s, he made a book called Making Faces, and he taught me how to do makeup before I even entered or did any makeup training. Before I went to TAFE, he was amazing, and he's now got a foundation, and I don't know why they launched it. He's died a long time ago. But he's now coming back in. I was reading through all my old notes going for a job, and then I found it in Mecca. So if you're looking for Kevin Aucoin, Mecca stocks Kevin Aucoin's foundation, and they also stock Estee Lauder's, Shiseido's products. If you can't find them, they've left the building. They've recently pulled them out of Shiseido of department stores. I don't know what's happening with that company, but it's not going so well. And they've put all the body products like the Cherry Blossom massage cream is all gone into places like Mecca. It's been pulled out of DJs, and I think it's been pulled out of Maya. So I'm always researching what's going on. I find if there's a global thing happening, we're fighting with a country, or Japan's had sanctions on Australia, or Australia's put sanctions on Japan, it affects the makeup industry to the point where we stop getting, we get managers sacked. I remember an entire year where we lost 12 managers because Clarins decided to get rid of Trimex, which was their go-to Australian company. The third person that used to authorise what Clarins would allow to be sold in Australia, including colours you can't get anymore because it's only for south of France. So there was just no colours for people of colour. I found it impossible. And Clarins was the only one that was doing a colour that would suit African Americans, Asian skin types, which are usually harder to get colours to match. Really fair colours that you can't get because a lot of people in Paris are fair, but a lot of them are very dark-skinned as well. So there's that. And I would go and, nick a tester from Clarins because I couldn't find it in the company I worked for and mix it with mine. So I was selling for Maya and David Jones. But that was my way to get the colour because I was trying to do a colour match for a formal. I couldn't tell her I couldn't help her. We're meant to unite the businesses. That's what we used to do. And I think this needs to happen with companies like, Just Jeans and Mecca, or Just Jeans and Smiggle. Can't they incorporate promotions together and unite the businesses? I mean, surely that could happen. I think that would be a really good way to promote each other when times are lean. That's what people do in DJs. In Maya, they promote every single product that's in there. They can't be just possessive of one brand. We try to expose people to all brands to help promote all the brands that are under Maya banner or under David Jones's banner. That's how they were so successful. But I'm rambling now. But I really love the makeup industry. It was the best thing I ever did. It was the most amazing job. It wasn't a job. It was just exciting. It was fun. It's just magic. I had a lady, she used to work for Chanel, and she'd go, "Come on, girls, get your skates on. It's showtime." And that's how I saw it. It's showtime. Only I'm doing a different version of my showtime. I was working for Clarins, and I did a facial. Oh, hang on, Shiseido. And I did a facial out the back. And the lady didn't tell me, or forgot to tell me, or just didn't want to tell me. She'd been in a car accident 5 years prior. And because I'm psychic, and I was doing lots of body work. Most people that do body work, hairdressers, the light, can pick up on things like that. And